Tacoma EV announced. What do you think? Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. And that's right, Toyota has announced a Tacoma-esque EV, electric vehicle. It's all over the web. It came out a couple of days ago where they showed what I believe is a concept, a pre-truck, if you will. Now, everybody's jumped on the bandwagon and attached Tacoma to it, probably because it's Tacoma-esque. Now, I would argue it's Tundra-esque as well. But either way, for the sake of argument, let's say that they are going to call it a Tacoma EV. Supposedly, size-wise, it's somewhere in between the Tacoma and the Tundra. So maybe they'll just call it a Toyota EV truck. Who knows? But here are some pictures of it. I think it's pretty cool looking. I actually dig it, but there is one thing I don't like about it. So, taking a look at it, it's pretty cool. It has a really nice front end, and a lot of people have stated, well, why didn't they do that front end on the new Tundra? I agree, why didn't they? And I do think that front end is what they're going to do with the next generation Tacoma here in a couple of years, and it looks pretty good. I like the way the lights are, I like the square fog lights or driving lights at the bottom. The whole treatment of it is really cool. Down the sides it looks good, except for one thing. Now, this may just be the paint job. If you look at the top of the roof, it kind of looks a little funky at the back end, at the back of the cab, at the roof level. It looks almost pointed-ish or something. Kind of throws off the lines a little bit. Don't know that I'm digging that really, but I'm hoping it's just because of the way it's painted, maybe the lighting, who knows. I do like the truck otherwise. I think it looks pretty darn cool. So I am excited about this. Now, the big question is, what's it gonna be? Well, it's supposed to be an electric vehicle. I assume that means it's not a hybrid, or they'd have called it the hybrid. So you're gonna have to be able to plug it in to charge it somewhere. You know, that kind of gets me thinking of the Tesla a little bit, because my stepdad has a Tesla. And he has to plug it in every night when he brings it home. He's got a special charger in the garage. Cost extra money for that, because if you want it to happen quickly, you have to go for the amped up, no pun intended, charger, so that you can get it done quickly overnight. Now, that's going to add some extra cost to it. My guess is there'll probably be some government incentives to buy the electric, so maybe that'll reduce the cost of putting one of those in a little bit. Who knows? But what about charging stations and range and all that stuff that everybody talks about with the electric trucks? Of course, there aren't charging stations everywhere. I put a little snippet, a picture up on Instagram of this when I first saw it, and a lot of comments that I got were that I don't have anywhere to charge it. There are no charging stations around. So if I'm driving off in the country somewhere, you know, in some part of the country, like Texas, where I am. Once you leave the area I'm in, you're in the middle of nowhere for hundreds of miles. There aren't charging stations. You can't pull off the freeway at your local Piggly Wiggly and plug it in somewhere. That is a problem. What if you're running around town? How many charging stations are there unless you live in a big city? So the argument is these are more big city suburban trucks. You know, you can use them as daily drivers like delivery trucks, or maybe if you're running around and doing sales calls and things like that in a big city that has places to plug them in, it makes sense. But there is the novelty factor of it. For me, it would be a novelty. I mean, I think gas engines are just fine, not a big deal for me. I dig them just the way they are, but it's a novelty thing. And they should be pretty darn off the line fast. And if you watch my channels, you know I dig acceleration, right? When I hit the gas off the line, I like to go. And I like to go quick. You would get that with the electric vehicle because power delivery is instantaneous. You hit the accelerator, no longer a gas pedal, and it goes. I really look forward to that, particularly in something the size of a Tacoma, because if it's not loaded down in the back, it's gonna be pretty light. I mean, there's no weight back there, right? So I think about this, and I think would I buy one, even giving the charging limitations that we currently have, and the extra expense where I would have to mount some sort of a charger somewhere in my garage here. And I probably still would do it because I think it's a pretty neat concept. For me, I think it would be cool to have, and I would love to experience it and see what kind of tech they put inside. Because let's face it, if Toyota is going to go to an electric Tacoma, it's going to have a bunch of different tech inside, right? We're going to have big screens. We're going to have the absence of some things because you won't need them. It should be pretty cool. Hauling capability. That's where you run into the problem, I think, with trucks becoming electric. Obviously, the more stuff that you load into the bed, the more juice it's going to suck out of that battery, right? It's not going to last as long. So when you see these estimated mileage claims or numbers, keep in mind those are for trucks that aren't loaded down. Once you start putting stuff in the back, that number's going down. What about your family? I mean, you know, we weigh something. I think I weigh more than I would like at the moment, but we all weigh something too. So load 4 big guys in there, let's say about, let's be nice, couple 100 pounds apiece. That's 800 pounds of payload that you're gonna have to haul around. That, of course, is going to reduce the range of these trucks as well. So I don't know if it's really realistic or not. I don't think that it matters because I think that in the future, that's what we're going to have. Everything is going to be electric. There is a revolution going on right now. And in about 10, 15 years, something like that, that's all you're going to be able to get. Now, that should mean that gas prices, at least in the short term, are going to drop because demand is going to drop. I don't know what it's going to do to electric prices when you pull into that Piggly Wiggly to charge her up, but we should be able to have probably lower gas prices for the rest of my life anyway, because demand is going to drop. There's going to be a glut because of all of these electric vehicles out there. So I'm curious to know what you guys think. You've seen the pictures of it. You've heard a little bit about it. We don't have a lot of details yet. Obviously, it's just a concept, and it's funny to me, people attaching the Tacoma name to it because Toyota hasn't named the truck at all. But what do you think about it? Is it something you would be interested in getting into? Does the electric vehicle turn you on? I'd be curious to know. For me, yeah, I think I would. I think I would also probably go with a hybrid in between, only because I want to experience the differences as these vehicles evolve, which is going to be happening very quickly, I think, in the next 10, 15 years. Leave a comment, let me know. Also, real quick, I do have an additional channel. It is RobMotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check it out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.